Hey, thanks for stopping by Al Art. Today we're going to talk about how to clean the vessel that we use to form the Murrine and how to clean out our kiln. So this is my studio setup when I pull Murrine. It's nice to have two people, but you can do it with one if you learn some techniques. Here you can see an annealing kiln on the right. It's a Gen fiber kiln, works great. And my Caldera kiln you can see on the stand. On the floor are some welding blankets. They work great to protect my cork floor. If I didn't have these on the floor, I'd have a couple big burns. Here you can see my wife and I are pulling some Murrine. I've had an old injury to a left hand and it doesn't have a lot of strength in it. So what I do is I take a ring clamp and actually clamp it to the piece of Murrine as it comes down. This way I can control it and I have a way to hold on to the Murrine. As the Murrine is being pulled out of the kiln, then I have another scissors that is a hot glass scissors that I use to cut the Murrine from the kiln. Cut the pieces in about 1.5 2 foot long level lengths, and then I let them cool just a second before I put them into the annealing kiln. When I do it this way, I don't drop the Murrine on the floor. You can see where a piece hit this welding blanket, and thank gosh I had the welding blanket because it just seared the edge of the welding blanket rather than searing a hole and ruining the floor in my studio. These welding blankets are amazing, and they are a great investment, and they protect up to 1800 degrees. So you can see the residual that we've got in the bottom of the kiln in this basin. So how do we clean it? Well, so we let the Caldera Kiln cool down. And for this video, I let it cool overnight. You can usually let it cool in the afternoon if you fuse in the morning, but make sure it's not going to be hot and burn you. Inside the kiln, you see a combination of glass and fire scale. The fire scale is carbon and different materials that slough off of the stainless steel when it gets hot. So this is a combination of fire scale on the outside of the kiln, a couple little pieces of glass. Next thing you do is take the box out of the kiln, make sure that you're wearing good face protection and eye protection, as this difference in the two metals and the glass can cause pinging, and where a piece of glass shoots off across the room. So you need to protect your eyes. So inside the caldera, you see there's a bunch of fire scale on the bottom. There's a couple little pieces of glass that have popped out. This is no issue in that we have the shelf covered with appropriate release agents, so there's no problem. The next thing I do is get out my HEPA vacuum. This is made by Fine. It's the only one that's designed for fiber paper, and it cleans up 99.9% of all the dust and fiber and keeps it out of your lungs. So here you're vacuuming, cleaning up the inside of the kiln, most of the loose pieces of glass, and this fire scale will just pop off without any problem. So the next thing I've done here is taken the vessel and just set it inside my kiln. Normally I just go to my shop, but it's easier to photograph here. So with a protection for my lungs with a face mask, I then peel this apart. I take the steel off of the fusing vessel. I vacuum up this residual fiber paper with my HEPA vacuum. On the inside it looks like a kind of a tie-dye painting or t-shirt. And so any residual that's left in my kiln, I vacuum that up as well. Then I put on a full face mask. I like this mask a lot because it protects my face and keeps me from having problems with things flying, not only in my eyes but in other parts of my face. This is what the face mask looks like. It's a UVEX bionic face shield. It has a polycarbonate visor in the front that's easy to replace, and you can put different filters on it. Look at my blog for further details. So what you can see is I've got my face mask on. We're going to turn this over. We're going to cover it up with a towel. And then we're going to knock some glass out. In hindsight, I should have had a pair of gloves on, so if you're working around sharp edges, make sure you wear gloves. Protect your hands. The majority of the glass, there's still some to come out in the corners, and what you hear is pinging. So the glass will continue to ping for probably another day. You can hear it pinging, so I keep the cover on it. I keep the cover and just I let it ping away. This fire scale will all come off once we clean the glass off. So I take a wire brush to these vessels before I reuse them again. If you have a sandblaster, you can lightly sandblast them, but they work great to put back into the kiln just like they are. I've had some vessels fabricated by a local fabricator. They're made out of 304 stainless steel. They are welded and they are reinforced in the corners for a square vessel. The round vessel gives you interesting designs when you pull a Murrine from that. The bases are made out of cold rolled steel and come in two different hole sizes, whether you're pulling Murrine or pulling stringers. These are available on the store portion of my website, www.alheilman.com. There will be links to all the equipment that I use to produce Murrine on my blog page on my website and the store at the end of my website at www.alheilman.com. So this is how you clean up your vessel. Thank you for stopping by. I think this is an important part of any art project, and that we know how to clean up the mess that we started so that we can get great results and do it again. We appreciate your time. Thanks for stopping by Al Heilman Art. If you have an idea for a blog, let me know, as it may appear quite soon. Thank you.